Quiet, Nimdut.
Sick! On your right. Right.
That tower's for Fjord's Rangers. It's where they stand around and argue about the best route to Shatterscarp. Back in the fight.
That's it for me. That's more like it. We got them all.
Right. This place has seen better days.
On sick!
Just like the good old days.
Listen, we'll get to the bottom of this. Not sure how, but we'll get there. I agree that this is important, Massoni. But if we don't focus on hunting, people will starve.
How is a potential murderer in our ranks not your top priority? You don't think it's real, is that it? You think I'm jumping at shadows?
One moment, please, Envoy. We were just finishing.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not saying it's impossible, Massoni. Only that more immediate dangers require our attention. We'll talk about it later.
Meanwhile, someone's tearing us apart from the inside.
It says something that I don't even have the energy to be offended by that. Oh, and as for leadership, you're looking at it. Such as I am.
Come on, there's no need for that. I know I give you a hard time, Asierno, but you're doing your best.
My best hasn't been good enough. And now 2 good men are probably dead. We've suspected the killer among our ranks for several days, but there hasn't been time to investigate.
There hasn't been time? A traitor in your ranks is serious.
I told you I'll do it.
And lose my best hunter to whatever might have taken Monato and Verano? Absolutely not. I cannot risk you, Massoni. We've had to redouble our hunting to feed Fior, and the bandits and Zarips are running us ragged. Every ranger we lose brings us closer to starvation. Two of our best, Monato and Verano, have failed to report back. Neither of them would fall easily to creatures they faced 100 times before.
Monato is the most skilled tracker we have, and Verano is our most accomplished archer.
I've heard of Monato. He hunted the Black Padfoot a few months back. That thing was impossible to track, but he did it.
You really think one of their own would betray them?
The only threat they wouldn't be prepared for would come from someone they trust.
As if that weren't enough, my rangers spotted a stranger near town this morning. They kept to the shadows, wearing some kind of mask. I've wondered the same thing. It would be the most plausible explanation.
That would be a blessed shame.
That's the real reason you don't want to investigate, isn't it?
Monato and Verano are my friends. I don't want to see them like that.
But this is why I think they were killed. Neither of them had the symptoms, the disorientation, the aggression. It just doesn't add up. Tell him about D'Urso and Casagrada.
All right, Envoy, if you really want to get involved. 2 of my rangers have been acting strangely since the others disappeared. Rangers D'Urso and Casagrada.
That's a powerful accusation to make. I know you Rangers are a tight bunch.
Would they really turn on their own brethren?
Both are good people, but they're connected with my missing men. And they haven't been particularly forthcoming. Casagrada has the makings of a good ranger, but he's green. Headstrong.
And quick to anger.
I've seen the type. Rash and proud.
Perfect. Young, strong, and too stupid to know everyone else knows more than he does. Like a yearling splint wolf.
Right. Lately he's been pushing to patrol alone. Says he works better that way. But he's not ready yet.
Then his partner, the veteran Verano, doesn't return with Casagrada from their last foray, and Casagrada has fuck all to say about it?
He's a good sort, or he used to be. But he acts first and thinks later. That gets him and Verano into trouble. D'Urso is a veteran. She came up with Monato and Verano, but she's younger than them, and an uncommonly talented tracker. Monato was her partner. They had a falling out over something to do with your people, Envoy, and shortly after, Monato disappeared.
She's been distant ever since. Doesn't pipe up much in meetings or come out to the bar.
Nursing a grudge is one thing. Turning on your squad mates is another.
You don't turn on your partner without a blessed good reason. They've probably saved each other's lives 1,000 times.
D'Urso's also one of the few with the skills to take Monato down, so we can't rule her out. You'd have to ask her.
She doesn't talk about it, not even with the other veterans. I feel like she blames us, but I don't know what for.
I've moved D'Urso and Casagrada to posts just outside Fior. I haven't explained why, but D'Urso's probably figured it out. Speak with them, and follow any leads they might turn up. I'm still not convinced either of them is a murderer, but...
It's better to be sure.
I'm sure Masoni here will be waiting with bated breath. Watch yourself in the wilds, Envoy. And Godspeed.
I can't think of much worse than turning on your squad, except having to suspect your own people. We should help them.
Agreed.
Keep the beacon dry. Fresh wood and tinder. We may need it.
I'm not climbing up there. The tower's barely standing.
That tower is a clear view of the mountains, the city, and the sea. You'll defend it with your life.
Bigger thing we shouldn't mess with. So let's go find the rest of it.
What'll it be? Gods, what do I tell Sovia? What do I tell the children? It's not bad enough that their mother a little earlier and you'd have beaten the other bandits to my crops. But I guess that's on you, isn't it? I don't know. Are you? I don't judge on first impressions. I couldn't say. Don't steal and then cry about it when people call you a thief. That's what my grandfather always said. He was a simple man. Loved farming, Fior, and pointing out the obvious. What? No. We're fine. No smuggling, no dream scourge. What are you implying? Now you're not making sense. If you want something, out with it. No, it's not like that. Gods, don't know who to trust these days. My wife, she's sick. Not a dream troll. Just sick. We've known for a while now. But treatment is expensive. There's not enough to go around. I thought if she could eat well for whatever time she had left, she'd be more comfortable. And now, it's gone. There. Are you happy? It's weeping fever. A rose draught would clear her up, but good luck finding any to spare. When they ran away, I saw them following the river north. They're probably hiding up there, waiting to steal from someone else. You come back with my crops, and I'll give you whatever I can. You can't put a price on survival.
Yeah.
You showed up at a bad time. Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giatta's about to tear that poor man a new one. One of our animancers. She's bright as a spark, but a mite confrontational. She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giatta's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. Look around. The town's overgrown, the crops are dying. What's not to fight about?
Just take a blessed day look outside. Doesn't take a genius to see this place is rolling downhill.
The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when animancers fight.
Stay out of trouble. Or make sure I don't notice it.
Oh, Envoy! You have to help me. If I have to listen to this twig of a recruit tell his stories for even one more minute, I'll probably die. Wonderful! Even a few seconds of talking to someone more interesting is like a breath of fresh air. It's great to meet you. Ranger Iziana Dorso at your service. I've been doing this long enough to know exactly why I was stationed here, and it wasn't for guard duty. Asierno really stooped to asking for help. How very unlike her. Frankly, I think she's overreacting to a late report. Monato might be our best tracker, but he doesn't put a lot of stock in patrol rotation, rest days, or Asierno's toothless protocols. Monato's always been acting strangely. Most paranoid man I've ever known. Thinks everyone's out to get him. Me, you, your steel garrote. Gods only know why. But one thing's for sure. You won't find him if he doesn't want to be found. Ugh, there's too many of them. Check in twice a day, sign the patrol roster, write your reports, keep up with the bulletin board, make sure the recruits are cleaning their gear.
Come on. You can't maintain a fighting force with shoddy equipment and poor discipline.
It's busy work. She says it's meant to protect us, but all of us took this job knowing it was dangerous. We should be out there killing the creatures attacking our farmers, not writing 5-paragraph essays on bandit movements.
You have a point.
Half of these kids can hardly read. He's a competent fool. No different from most of our recruits. And this land is cruel. I give him 6 months. Maybe a year. Verano and I are stationed on opposite ends of the valley. I hardly ever see the man except in passing. Casagrada is his partner, supposedly. You want to know more, ask him. The last thing I heard was that Monato was going to scout out the ogre camp. From here, cross the northern bridge and follow the path west. The path will become a cobblestone road and pass through the swamp. You'll find a cave in the hillside. Should pick up Monato's trail around there. It was claimed by an old animancer years ago. He and the ogre are, friends. I have no idea what they got up to in there. Experimenting on Zarebs, probably. I couldn't tell you what's there now. I don't know anyone who could. The Animancer struck a deal with Asierno. We're not allowed to go there. Why Monato was headed there is beyond me. But if you want to track down Monato, that would be the first place to look. I'm not Monato's keeper. He's a grown man and can take care of himself. Right. Watch your back out there, Envoy. The Living Lands are a dangerous place.
Hopefully when we find Monato, we can find some answers.
the Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. Captain Alfair of the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Good. Perhaps he will listen to you. I am not fashioned for statecraft. Still, I think the governor is too stubborn to be persuaded even by the Emperor's finest. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adirian interests. Barter for peace, prepare for war. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
Can I interest you in some glaive berries or bedded spells, perhaps? Welcome to Poria in Velino, the finest legitimate apothecary of Emerald Stair. 5 summers ago, business was thriving. But now charlatans are selling crystals and essence enlargers in the streets. Add rumors of Dreamscourge and everyone is buying from these swindlers. At least you've come in. Oh, I could, easily. But in the long run, where would that get me? I would be no better than them. I used to believe animancers would trust science, but I'm beginning to doubt that. At least I don't have to convince you. All ingredients. Ingredients are... Welcome back! What can I get you?
And all godlike. I've heard whispers that one of your kind was here in the Living Lands. It is a pleasure to meet you. In case it wasn't clear, I'm the point of contact for anyone with bounties to turn in. So return to me if you have any to claim. Officially, I'm one of the many researchers here. My specialty is in the anatomy of the many species of Eora. If you must know, Vulpinet, these bounties are more pressing than my research. Someone had to be chosen to man the board. That person happens to be me. At least some of these bounties result in interesting specimens to study. Auret Auguri. I hope to see you soon. Oh, those poor souls. Please bring them peace, Saimiko. Becoming part of a blight is not a fate I would wish upon my worst enemy. Oh, the Trentons. Bunch of butzos, if you ask me. But they are dangerous, I'll admit. Watch yourself out there. Be careful with old Nuna. I have a theory that her longevity and hardiness are due to an inordinate suffusion of essence. Delamgan. They are not evil, it is just in their nature to push back against the expansion of civilization. Still, survival of the fittest and all that, eh?
Spirits are truly wonderful. Powerful, self-aware, reach within
I bet I must wait until I'm dead.
refreshment? If you are looking for sanctuary, you have found it. The Gifted Magpie is a house of calm, rational discussion. We have only two rules of conduct: maintain dignity and speak in a soft tone of voice. Cloves, cinnamon, and anise are just a few of the remedies that help foster a peaceful environment. Animancers are miracle workers, but their work breeds obsession, rivalry, and bitter disagreement. Consider the dream scourge. One crisis, many ways to manage it, all of them frustrating in their contradictions. This tea house is where troubled minds come to approach problems from a quieter angle. Fior Mesiverno values individualism, but I much prefer to focus on the health of the community. Now, will there be anything else? Believe it or not, this building was once my father's grain warehouse. One day, a magpie landed on the rafters and spoke fluent Valian to anyone who would listen. Among other things, it told my father the recipe for a blueberry tart. Popular item until the recent troubles. Helia is the goddess of birds and creativity. Yes, the spiritual significance of a talking magpie is debatable. But the tale inspired others to make this a haven of creativity. And so, here we are. Who knows? Either it flew away on bad business, or it was just a metaphor to begin with. A good story knows where to end itself. The bad ones all end in grief. What? I mean, I'm sorry. What? Could you possibly elaborate? Oh no, I mean, oh yes? It's just that these sorts of things happen to other people, but never me. I wouldn't even know where to start.
You're overthinking this. Invite her around for a cup of tea.
It seems I need to gather my wits and figure out what to do next. I have no skill with romance, you see. Oh dear. Regrettably, we are out of tea. My stockpile is exhausted, and the harvest has not kept up with demand. We have other goods for sale, if you care to peruse them. Trinkets I have collected over the years. The fields have been unproductive of late, and what grows has not risen to our standard. I am hopeful that this is a temporary setback and not a sign of things to come.
I have been thinking about the moon.
Not this again.
There is no Adra on Bilafa. None that we can see in a telescope anyway.
I suppose that's true.
But if someone died on Bilafa, where would their soul go?
No one is going to die on the moon.
Not with that attitude.
Come on. My adventure is guaranteed to enlarge.
Have you heard? Giata's causing trouble at the governor's mansion again.
You must admit she has a point. We should do something about the Dream Scourge. Not simply wait for it to pass.
Be careful with that kind of talk. The governor has ears all over town.
What's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now our farms.
We can't lose our heads over some half-cocked speculation.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the dream scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
As usual, Giatta never misses a chance to slander me. I don't ignore her concerns, only her methods.
And you still do nothing. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Once again, bureaucracy stands in the way of getting things done.
I'm just trying to stop Giatta from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. Be careful with your assumptions. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. It's nothing. Our governor is backed into a corner and lashing out. I almost respect him for it. Buy me a drink sometime, and I'll tell you all about my family's basement. All of the above. I have a lot of forgetting to do. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps. But I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
By tradition, the governor's manor is open to the public.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Jat is a spirited animancer, but she can be intolerable at times. Whatever you may think of us, I welcome you to Fior Messiverno. Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his fear-mongering. Don't waste your time on him. He was loyal to my father, but never to me. And he knows how to rally others to his side.
He reminds me of a lieutenant I served under. Led us into a trap because he wouldn't admit his maps were wrong.
If there's nothing more, I have a city to run. Try not to involve...
Is this the governor's mother? Blessed a shame.
Ignacy. Where is Ignacy?
I am not accustomed to failure.
Ugh, neither am I. But it happens. To the best of us, no? They made up their mind before we even started. It's okay. We'll try again.
But it's the third time.
You know how it is. Their standards are impossible. It isn't personal.
Of course it's personal. It's the Animonsters workshop.
Maybe we need some feedback on our proposal.
Using essence to cure male flaccidity is uncharted territory. I'm sure of our thesis.
It is times like these that we need such trivial things the most.
We treat this important issue with the utmost respect, even down to the proposal's title.
What do you think of this? Boning without bones, essence and the performativity of male anatomy.
Consider this. From stick to stone, using essence to augment male performance. That's brilliant, huh? Simply brilliant.
We've done it again.
Wait until they read this. The days of packing rope are at an end.
You startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the dream scourge are all the result of our neglect of the dead. I was calling on the spirits of the recently dead to follow the guidance of Bareth, god of death. I am asking the spirits to forgive us for our negligence and continue on their way without anger. The dead of Fjord expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry. We cannot take that chance. There are angry spirits, and you know the problems we face. I believe the two are related. Our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will take it from there.
Flesh and bone. They bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
I did, yes. With things the way they are, there was no other way to get what I need for the ritual. If I didn't think this was important, I wouldn't have taken the food. But this ritual is the key to everything. I know Elena would understand how important it is to pay tribute to the dead. This does help the living. By appeasing the dead, we end the dangers their anger caused. The crops will grow again. The dream scourge will end. All will be well once more. Do it for whatever reason you like, as long as it gets done. The first offering goes to a cliffside grave on the southern coast. Loggers from the old days, they sacrificed themselves to make the land habitable and lost their lives to creatures of the untamed forest. The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp, far to the west from here. They buried the bodies of settlers there, intrepid sorts that tried to tame the farther reaches of Emerald Stairs wilds. The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fjord, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds. I understand how it looks, but appeasing the dead is vital, especially in times like these. I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady. Please, return when the rituals are complete. You
Empty again.
Seems that way.
Vidaro says the current crop looks promising.
He's not a farmer.
Be patient. He hasn't steered us wrong before.
The food stores won't replenish themselves.
Perhaps the crops are oversaturated with essence.
Or it's the opposite. They weren't nourished enough.
Maybe I should revive my experiment on cabbage essence.
That won't help the blight now. Your results fail.
But if I get proper backing from the workshop, that might change.
Genuine healing crystals, purest in all of Eora.
What can I serve you?
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. Because they're cowards. To them, I'm just a cautionary tale. A fallen animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. Most of us would be better off without tyrannical bureaucrats. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want, on my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see a Nadiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers.
We will set aside our differences for the greater good, won't we, Giata?
Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Sorry. I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave Fior Messiverno. Forever.
You may not see it from this vantage, my dear, but you have outgrown these walls. I always knew this day would come, just as I knew how much it would pain you. Please, just leave. That's all I ask.
Quilici, I will make you proud. I promise.
Once again, you missed the point. You have made me proud, Giada.
Thank you. I'm ready. Well, not ready. We have a few loose ends to tie up first. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Don't worry. Ignacy can't banish us all. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fior. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. I'd rather you find that out for yourself. Whatever it is, I won't be disappointed. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
Are you as excited to get started as I am? Because I'm very excited. I'm counting on it.
Careful! Or we'll get thrown out of the pub! We're already... Really? Huh. When did that happen? Can't say as I remember. You, my friend, need some water.
One job, and I couldn't even do that.
Look out for her, Fidelio. How hard could that have been? Not everyone has the ranger captain breathing down their neck. I don't mean that. I have a lot on my plate. I'd like to be. They're out searching. Someone had to hold down the fort. My 2 youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now. They're still not here. Three times this month. They're going to be the death of me. They're besotted. I can't get them to think about anything else. Belena and Adelaro were my most promising recruits. Now, all they do is sneak off to... I wouldn't have put it that way, but all right.
Well, there's worse places to make the four-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh man, this brings me back.
Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern. They always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in danger, and Malena's father and I were comrades in arms years ago. When she enlisted, I swore I'd try to keep her safe. That was all. I couldn't even do that. What they're doing is their business, but rangers have to come when they are called. Wait, gods, you're relentless. The point is, they've never been gone this long. The last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern riverbed. If you go that way, please, keep an eye out for them. I'm losing my mind in here.
2 young Nemdutin wandering out by a river. Consider them found.
Maybe we don't look too soon. Give them a while. Know what I mean?
Pour you a drink, good night.
The crops rule. All of it.
Can anything be done?
Bly thinks I
Well, I'll be a godlike in the bone and bore. Apologies for the ruckus outside. The Animancers never know when to shut their mouths. I might be more amused if it didn't happen so often. But that's Animancers for you. Except Giata and Quilici, that is. They are the only Animancers taking the Dream Scourge seriously. Believe me, Animancy has its limits. We've all heard the rumors from outside. Animals gone mad, terrors stalking the wilderness day and night. Birth's bells, of course. If Emerald Stair runs out of food, we are in dire straits anyway. We've had crops fail before, but never food rations. The governor says it's just a temporary precaution, but I am not buying it. So, we ought to drink while we can. Agreed? Anything I can get you? What are you fixing to know? I opened the place after my brother cut me out of the family business years ago. I opened the Bone and Boar for all the customers he found undesirable. The rough types. My clients may not be Animancers, but they have never let me down. I can't say the same for my brother. My parents were the first owners of the gifted magpie. Mom was an animancer, and the pa wasn't. They fought constantly. Because of that, my brother Hector hates conflict. It's ruined the magpie's business. Visit the magpie and talk to him. You'll see what I mean. Now, is there anything else I can get you? Welcome back, envoy.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo. Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late. Is that Gelarde? This is star metal. Very rare stuff. Where did you get this? Nay, don't tell me. I'd be tempted to go looking for some more, and that would certainly not end well. No. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work the metal into anything useful. Only enchant it. I did receive a shipment from Sola's Keep recently, however. A mace crafted out of star metal, brought to me by a trader from Galawain's Tusks. I suggest you make your way there if you are looking for someone to work that beautiful metal into a proper weapon.
Galawain's tusks? Come on, it can't be that complicated. I bet you 5 skates a Smith and Thirdborn would know what to do with this stuff. And I'll take your money eventually.
Is there anything else I can help you with, amico? Nay, not really. But not all of us in Fior are animancers, you know. Besides humble craftsmen such as myself, we have the rangers to outfit. Under normal circumstances, I'd not sell to a traveler like yourself. But as I'm sure you've seen, these are not normal circumstances. Care to see what I have? Officially no, but I have been known to dabble with essence infusion here and there. I have one such item for sale, actually. A beautiful mace made of star metal, crafted by the finest smiths of Solace Keep and enchanted by yours truly. It is a wonder to behold. Care to see? Welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
Confounded machine.
Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. More than most, but less than I would like. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Oh, I can, but it's a matter of getting all the necessary parts. What I need is a stronger power source. We can't make something out of nothing. We're still limited by our resources. I could use a large single block of Atra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
If you can convince her to hand it over, I'll be more than impressed.
I have to do something. I can't let anyone else discover this. Envoy. I'm sorry. I'm not in a place to talk right now. I'm not concerned with that. Not now. Yesterday, I made an incredible discovery. We can use half as much Adra to achieve the same results. And then I thought, what if one day it's a third, a quarter, a speck? With no consequences, our ambitions will run unchecked. It's too much power. Who knows what kind of chaos we'll create? I have been reading Athelmir's treatise on Wotica. Perhaps she's right. Maybe Animancy should be reined in. I assumed I was speaking to a colleague. I see I was wrong. But I should double-check my work. There's a chance my research could be flawed. I never forgive myself. I'll run more tests and see where things go. I hope I'm right. I shudder to think what will happen if I'm not.
The Adra is... Help me. It's the essence I'm concerned. About...
This again. You're beginning to sound like Giata.
Have you ever stopped and listened to her? She might be onto something.
I'm sure her mother and father were onto something, and look what happened to them.
What do you think of Giata's theory?
Well, my experiments have been a little...
unpredictable? Like, the essence has no sense of direction.
How did you know?
We should talk, but not here.
You know, I've heard dueling is popular in the Valian republics. You wouldn't think a public argument could feel as brutal, but I'll be damned if Giada didn't draw blood. No doubt. That's why I admire the resolve. Living Landers can be contrarian and combative. That's what sends a lot of us here in the first place. But it's still hard to swim against the tide with your own people, especially when it means getting them to face a hard truth. You can't mount an attack if you're questioning every detail of the battle plan. But if you see you're charging into a trap, that's what I admire about Giada. She knows who she is and what she believes. She's got more clarity and conviction than I had at her age.
She has more clarity than you have now.
Hey, I am a willing victim of my own delusions.
Can we just talk about something else?
Hey, don't worry. We're talking about Giada's situation.
Right. Like, what did you think I was talking about?
Anyway, this can't be an easy time for Giada, but I'm glad to have her on our side. What's on your mind? And troubling. What was it she said? The Steel Garrote will ensure the safety of Adiran interests? A big if. You can let them do the rowing, but you're still gonna get hit with the spray.
Kai means that no matter what they do, your reputation will take a hit. Though, he could have just said that.
I'd like to be wrong, believe me. But in my experience, a volatile ally is more dangerous than... It's been years. It was always green and overgrown, but I don't remember it being quite this... You remember the first plants we met here tried to kill us, right? Something about Emerald Stair has always been unsettling. Everything in the Living Lands grows wild, but it's different here. Those giant roots, whatever they are, I don't remember them being quite as big or close to the settlement. Well, there's a thought to keep me up at night.
Oh, the Living Lands definitely hates us. That's why people like me even get work.
I don't like reading that much into things. Maybe that's why I'm still a bachelor.
Is that what it is? That wasn't even on my list.
Either way, when I wake up with night terrors, I'm waking you both up with me. Not a whole lot, and I've been happy keeping it that way. Playing around with essence, poking at souls, trying to move them out of and into places they shouldn't be. Oh, it makes me queasy. Though, if we're going to understand the Dream Scourge and your godlike lineage, I suppose we'll have to get comfortable with it. Still, I'm happy to leave those pursuits to other people.
Exactly. Other people. People who are a safe distance away.
True, but at what cost? There's a reason Animancy's failures are more famous than its successes. For every maniac it's cured, it's created dozens of corpses, or worse. I've just always felt more comfortable with things I can see and grasp for myself. Then I guess it's better that you're the one with a connection to something in the beyond. Ask away. He was my commander and thirdborn, but he was more than that too. A mentor, friend. Tama helped me out when I first came to the Living Lands over a decade ago. I was still figuring myself out.
Was. This is you, having figured yourself out.
Hey, now I know I can't stomach rusk snout milk. As for what we'll find, I don't know any more than you. All I know is he said it was his most prized possession. And seeing as he was on his deathbed at the time, I wasn't of a mind to ask. Nah, same reason I've got dirty dishes and unmended trousers back home, I guess.
You're the only one I know who can sew for an hour and wind up with a bigger hole than you started with.
Next time you get assassinated, Marius will be the one stitching you up. You know how sometimes you leave a thing unfinished for too long and it just grows bigger and bigger in your mind? I just need to see what he left me. Whether it's one of his old books or one of those fossils he was always collecting. Yeah, that's it. Enough from me. We've got a long road ahead. Where does... The man couldn't carry a tune, but it didn't stop him from trying. He'd have the whole tavern singing shanties with him nearly every night of the week. He had a vexing habit of saying the thing you most needed to hear when you were least ready to hear it. He'd give you the shirt off his back and the meat off his plate. But the selfish bastard left the rest of us a world without him in it. That obvious, huh? That's why I've got to put this to rest. Holler if you need anything else.
Envoy? Well, that was interesting, right? The woman arguing about the crops failing? Standing up for what you believe against authority. I can respect that. Of course, my method would have been run away under the cover of night, never to return, but yeah, this works for her. It's more that I don't think my belief's worth standing up for. Life's simpler that way. Anyway, there's clearly more going on here than a bunch of animancers sitting in dusty labs doing whatever they do all day. Beyond that, nah, I can't help you. Call me when you're back to facing real danger. Right, changing the subject. Ask away. Yes, I did. The less we talk about that, the better. No, I really don't. I don't need to know how many men you've killed to know you're more than capable in battle. Now, we just met, Envoy, and I'm here to do a job. Maybe we'll be best of friends someday, but this isn't that day. Best we just keep things professional. We agree on the unnecessary part. Well, I'm one of the very few people who spends most of their time out in the wilds and haven't gotten themselves killed yet. I know the difference between hay-bleed toxin and high-tox bloom, which is something you should be really thankful for. And you know the Ballarok and the Grinning Ballarok? No, but I am one of the few who have seen a Balrog and lived. Mostly because I had the brains to run the Dragu out of there. The key is survival. I understand that, and a lot of people don't. And that's why they're dead, and I'm still here. We're gonna get you where you're going, Envoy. Alive and with as few blithe tail bites as possible. That, more or less, is all you need to know about me. Oh? Do tell. We've already talked about this. I hope this isn't going to be a problem. Right. Well, until then, let's just keep things professional. No, I didn't poison that drink. Even the rankest Nimdude walking doesn't deserve that kind of death. They clearly heard about my reputation and thought I'd do something like that. Question is, why would he drink from that cup? Yes, wanted to be the big man. Pride is one of the best ways to deliver poison. If he was a real hunter, he'd have studied his target and known what I was capable of. Lucky for me, he was just a tourist in need of a good reminder. More often than you think. Someone's always trying to get a reputation by going after people who have one. Turns out those of us who have a reputation sometimes came by it honestly. What do you need? Oh, you noticed. I don't know. I've heard stories all my life about the gods and magic, and they never seem to do any good for anyone. It's just Pargrunan wilderness lore, developed over the centuries in Solace. Tricks, traps, gadgets, nothing more. But hey, if people want to think it's magic, then go ahead. I'm not gonna bend over backward just to seem internally consistent. Almost all of them. Andra pulling down the moon to destroy civilization. The Godhammer bomb. All that stuff down in the Deadfire. No one as fickle as those gods seem to be should ever be put in charge of reincarnation, I tell you that. Basically, the goddess Andra wanted a civilization dead, so she pulled down the moon to do it. They say Abidan shattered the moon to save the people, and then threw himself in the way of the largest shard. And for his interference, Andra built Abidan a statue as a tribute. Makes no sense at all. Somebody who was a prophet of Aethys decided to start a holy war. To stop him, his enemies built a giant bomb that could kill a god. Stories say the goddess Magrin helped them build it. Sounds about right to me. Anyway, the bomb went off and killed a lot of people. People who wouldn't have died if gods hadn't decided to bicker about. I don't know how you missed it. The god Aethys woke up one day and decided to stomp his way across the world. Imagine, an enormous, unstoppable statue destroying everything in sight. I heard he wanted to destroy the wheel and end reincarnation forever. I wasn't there, but it all happened just a few years ago. Strange you hadn't heard of it. Ah, yes. Agree to disagree. Spoken like a true envoy. Well, You asked, I answered. Feel free to cast all the spells and cry out to whatever gods you like. I won't stop you. Just don't expect me to join in. Same one you are. What kind of bleste question is that? Oh, I see. I sometimes use lember without really thinking about it. That's what you mean, right? Right. I hear Pargrunen all over the world speak it. I only know what I learned in Solace. I barely realize I'm doing it anymore. If you want to learn lember, you'll have to spend time in Solace. And that's not going to happen anytime bleste soon. Ah, right. Something like that. I'm sure you'll pick it up as we travel. It's not that bleste difficult. Right, changing the subject. What do you need?